Hi, I'm Shelley Johnson. So glad you're here. Let's have some tea, hear some words, and give them space to do a work in us. Worship. Altars. You know, in the Old Testament, their way of worshiping God always involved altars. And it will help us to deepen our own understanding and practice of worship if we better understand them, because there is a way to take the idea behind the actual altars of the Old Covenant and translate them for how that works and looks for us under the New Covenant. So if we imagine the tabernacle, which of course later became the temple, and the blueprints, the instructions that God gave his people for building it so that he might dwell among them, there were altars. And the first one happened in the outer court, the place kind of outside the holy spaces where everyone could gather. And there was this large bronze altar. And every morning and every evening, a lamb was sacrificed, fully burnt. This lamb was a burnt offering. The whole body was burned as a way specifically to atone for the sins of God's people. Their sins transferred to the lamb, and the lamb shed his blood so that they could be redeemed to God. And we know how that looks in the new covenant, because Jesus is the Lamb of God. And on the altar of the cross, he shed his blood. He took on all our sin. It got all of our sin transferred to the Lamb of God. And he shed his blood. He died for us so that we could have atonement, redemption to God. Of course, the big difference is the lambs were never enough. That's why they had to do them every single day for hundreds of years. But it was a step toward the more fulfilling and perfect sacrifice, the perfect offering of Jesus as the Lamb, once and for all. So how does that impact our worship? We don't have a bronze altar anymore. In fact, if you look at Revelation, and we get a glimpse of God's throne room where there's still a throne like the Ark of the Covenant and a gold altar. There is no bronze altar because sacrifice for the atonement of sins is no longer necessary. So how does this translate for us? We can still come to God. Altars may not be a physical place of bloodletting anymore. But when we come to God and offer ourselves to him, our whole bodies, just like those lambs were offered in completeness, so are we to God. And my friends, when we offer ourselves, body, mind, heart, and soul, that's worship. Our lives become worship. This week, as we move through our days, let's keep that in mind, that our lives are worship if we are giving ourselves to God as an offering. Let me know how I can be praying for you.